What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching and supporting. We've got a great video, an update on Ron Desantis, some things he's been up to lately, which has been a lot. Before we jump into this video, just wanted to let you guys know we have a brand new channel linked in the description below. This is an awesome channel and we're really excited about it for a few reasons, but mainly because along with our normal content, we're also going to be doing videos, live hearings, stuff from the Senate, the White House, stuff like that. So all those things are going to be in there, and we don't really see a lot of channels or mainstream media ever covering that stuff, so we want to provide it. So check out that channel in the description below. Please subscribe to it, and we will see you there. Alrighty. So Desantis issued a super awesome EO recently, basically blocking mask mandates. Republican governor said his order lets parents exercise the right to decide for their own children whether they should wear masks. It's funny how that makes so much sense. School districts in 2 Florida counties, Broward and Gadsden, had previously issued mask mandates for students, effective when classes start in August. Their mandates came after the CDC recommended that all students, teachers, and staff wear them indoor, regardless on whether they have or have not been vaccinated. But Desantis has made his stance firm on mask requirements. In a speech in Cape Coral announcing the executive order, he said there will be no lockdowns, there will be no school closures, there will be no restrictions, and no mandates in the state of Florida. Come on, baby. The federal government has no right to tell parents that in order for their kids to attend school in person, they must be forced to wear a mask all day, every day. Many Florida school children have suffered under forced masking policies, and it is prudent to protect the ability of parents to make decisions regarding the wearing of masks by their children. It's prudent to protect the ability of parents to make any decision for their child. But you know, the left, not exactly a fan of the nuclear family. The statement from DeSantis' office says the order is in response to several Florida school boards considering or implementing mask mandates in their schools after the Biden admin issued unscientific and inconsistent recommendations that school-age children wear masks. The order directs the Florida Department of Health to enter rulemaking in collaboration with the Florida Department of Education to bar any mask mandates. DeSantis' office said the move is consistent with HB 241, which is the Parents' Bill of Rights, signed into law on June 29th, which sets out the rights parents have in their child's education, upbringing, and health. The Florida Department of Education said that parents know what's best for their children and should be empowered to make their own choices with regards to masks. At this time, additional information will be forthcoming as the Florida Department of Education collaborates with the Florida Department of Health to satisfy the requirements of the emergency order. So then, looks like some people want to break the law, because when you're the left opposing the right, you're allowed to do literally whatever you want. School districts in Florida have altered their mask mandates for students after Ron Desantis issued an EO that the state will deny funding to any districts enforcing such rules. The Broward County Public Schools said in a statement on Monday it will reverse the mask requirement and intends to comply with the governor's latest order, but they will keep encouraging everyone in schools to wear masks and get vaccinated. At this time, children aged 12 and older are eligible to receive the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. Ridiculous. 12? Come on. The school board, following a vote last week, mandated facial coverings when in person. Learning resumes. My God. I'm sickened that I messed that up twice in a row. The school board, we're going to retry that real quick. The school board, following a vote last week, mandated facial coverings when in-person learning resumes this month. Good Lord. DeSantis said he wants parents to decide whether their children should wear a mask to school. The district will advocate for all eligible students and staff to receive vaccines and strongly encourage masks to be worn by everyone in schools, BCPS said. That's the county school, Broward County. The district will also work to adhere to CDC's guidelines, including frequent cleaning and disinfecting of our schools. I would hope you would do that anyway. Physical distancing, lame. Hand washing, I'm cool with you encouraging that. I mean, especially for middle schoolers, probably need to more anyways. And staying home when sick. Also down to encourage that. School district in Gadsden County also reversed its mask requirements for students in classrooms. It's funny how everyone's so morally upright with what they believe until money's in the mix. Well, we're going to stand with the CDC. It's cool, I'll stop funding you. Tell you what, we'll stand with you, Governor, but we're still going to encourage people to do that. Whatever, as long as you're giving them the right to make a choice. Like, a spokeswoman for the district said the decision came after the order, noting that the board will continue to follow CDC's guidelines as the governor will allow. He'll allow you to do whatever you want for you. Just you can't make decisions for anyone else. That's all it is. Well, we'll see what communist Desantis allows. It's like, no, dude. He's like giving you more freedom than you can even fathom, clearly. In yet another reversal, the CDC said recently that fully vaccinated individuals in areas with substantial and high transmission of the virus should wear masks indoors in some areas, including schools, citing new research into outbreaks from several states and countries. That's the thing. If you know anything about viruses, they are resilient as F. They will mutate, they will morph, they will adapt to their environment. So now what's happening? Well, the variants are happening, and that's why the numbers are spiking, because in actuality, okay, I gotta stop. Oh, I gotta stop. I probably said too much there. A law DeSantis signed in May gives him the authority to invalidate local emergency public health measures, including mask mandates and limitations on business operations. It also bans any business or government entity from requiring proof. The Republican governor has credited his response to the pandemic, which is focused on vaccinating seniors and nursing home residents, for the fact that fewer Floridans are dying now than last August. A year ago, Florida was averaging about 180 COVID-19 deaths per day during an early August spike, but last week averaged about 55 per day. This is just my opinion. I don't believe that data for a second. Not for a second. Even among a lot of positive tests, you're seeing much less mortality than you did over a year ago. Would I rather have 5,000 cases among 20-year-olds or 500 cases among seniors? I would rather have the younger, because they won't die from it. A lot of the elderly are the ones that are actually at risk from this. Oh man, I'm wanting to pipe off so bad. DeSantis added that media hysteria on the record hospitalizations will cause people who might be suffering from a heart attack or stroke to avoid going to emergency room for fear of being infected. And that's actually really valid. It's like, if you've got all those COVID people in there, why would you get near there? Especially if you're more susceptible. People were having heart attacks at home because they thought there wasn't enough room at the hospital, or they'd go for the heart attack and get COVID and die. Jeez. Alrighty, so now continuing on that segment, he talked a little bit more in depth about the rise in cases in Florida, because there has been a pretty big spike. We think the fact that even amidst a lot of positive tests, you will see much less mortality than we did a year ago or more. We kind of touched on that a little bit in the last segment. Florida reportedly broke its own record of COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations in recent days. 11,515 patients were in hospitals across the state, setting another new high according to a survey conducted. About 85% of all hospital beds have been filled by COVID-19 or non-COVID patients. Don't believe that either. New cases fell, coming in at approximately 17,000. DeSantis said hospitalizations will decline, reiterating his view that the virus that causes COVID-19 is seasonal. He pointed to the fact that 85% of seniors over the age of 65 have gotten the vaccine, and said that's leading to lower mortality. This is helping reduce dramatically mortality, particularly among our most vulnerable residents. You can still test positive. I think we're seeing that. But at the end of the day, really turning this in from something that was much more threatening to a senior citizen to something that is more manageable, that's a huge, huge thing. Florida saw just 108 deaths per day in the week of July 23rd, according to the State Department of Health's weekly report. That's far below the roughly 180 daily deaths seen in early August 2020. Still, deaths lag behind cases and hospitalizations, since many COVID-19 patients spend days or weeks in hospitals before dying, stoking fears that Florida could be in for a jump in mortality. Mary Mayhew, a president and CEO of the Florida Hospital Association, sounded a familiar theme to Desantis. Current hospitalizations and the growth rate continues to be extremely troubling, but vaccines work. The fact that less than 3% of current hospitalizations arrive from nursing homes and long-term care facilities shows the state's focus on vaccinating and protecting Florida's seniors and the most vulnerable has worked. DeSantis pinned the rise in the cases in part on so-called breakthrough infections, despite being vaccinated against it. That's the killer for me, is if it doesn't completely prevent it, like, I don't know. About 25,000 fully vaccinated people have tested positive in Florida. I mean, that's crazy. 25,000 people fully vaccinated. And they tested positive. You're supposed to be safe. Your president told you you would be safe if you did this. Your dumb frickin' president. Your dementia-ridden vegetable president. He said that. And a lot of others did too. And they call me crazy. Vaccines are showing waning immunity against the Delta variant of the virus, but are holding up well against hospitalization and death, according to recent studies. The best indicator, I know the media fixates on cases, but the best indicator is the emergency room visit for COVID-like illness, DeSantis said. That figure did rise sharply through most of July, but has started to stabilize. Just 2 states, Florida and Texas, account for 1/3 of all new cases in the entire country. Just 2 states. We need leadership from everyone. If some governors aren't willing to do the right thing to beat this pandemic, then they should allow businesses and universities who want to do the right thing to be able to do it. I say to these governors, please help. But if you aren't going to help, at least get out of the way, President Joe Biden said in remarks. He's an idiot. Just a flat-out fool. If some governors aren't willing to do the right thing. Once upon a time, Florida had the best metrics in the nation. This is, I mean, it's all gaslighting more than anything, and just inflated, pumped up stats. But like, I just hate that statement so much. If you aren't going to help, at least get out of the way. The problem with that statement is earlier he says if some governors aren't willing to do the right thing to beat this, that's like when your recommendation is just to jab everyone, that's not a solution, man. Like, freedom has to be the core of all your decision making, and that's all these governors in Texas and Florida are doing. All it is an attack on those 2 states, you know? I can't stand this president, freaking Biden. What a joke. What an absolute joke. DeSantis has vocally opposed new restrictions. He's challenging federal guidance on mask wearing in schools, and emphasized that Florida will not be locked down again. We are not shutting down. So then he fired back on this whole topic, basically at the White House and Joe Biden, and for the standing in your way comment. He said, I'm standing in your way. Biden and officials in his administration have repeatedly singled out Florida, noting that COVID-19 cases there account for a portion of the new cases across the country. The escalation of cases is particularly concentrated in states with what we just read that. Look, we need leadership from everyone, and if some governors aren't willing to do the right thing, we also read that. They should be able to do it. I say to the governors, please help, but if you aren't going to help, at least get out of the way with the people who are trying to do the right thing. It's not about right or wrong, dude. It's not the right thing to do. Clearly, you don't know the right thing to do. You encouraged everyone to go get vaccinated, and now they're more susceptible to the variant. Nice. Nice. Freaking idiot. Governors in some states, including Florida, let's move on. We already talked about that in the last one. Asking about Biden's comments, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said that there are leaders who are not stepping up and are getting in the way of the American people, companies and others who are trying to save lives and stop the spread of Delta. DeSantis responded at a briefing in Florida, noting that while campaigning, Biden vowed to shut down the virus. And what has he done? He's imported more virus from around the world by having a wide open southern border. You have hundreds of thousands of people pouring across every month. The number of illegal border crossings has increased every month since he took office, hitting a 20-year high, according to preliminary numbers. Officials in border cities have said that COVID-19 positive legal immigrants are being released by federal officials. it's more than just like that. I mean, I think it was like last week or last month, I can't remember specifically, but they said it was like 7,000 illegal immigrants that were already positive for COVID-19 were let in. Insanity. And they even have rules in place where Customs and Border Control can turn them back if they do. And they didn't. Why? Probably because of this administration, this joke of a president, this joke of a vice president, this joke of a Democratic Party. You know, I've talked in a lot of videos where I want to be more loving and not as negative. And this is one of those ones where I'm not. And I'm just like, I don't mind being a jerk and saying some harsh things because it's insanity. It's insanity. He rejects science because he denies the fact that people that recover from COVID-19 have a long-lasting immunity, Desantis said. Federal Health Agency acknowledged the science behind post-recovery immunity, but say people who recover should still get a vaccine, alleging that doing so provides additional protection. From what? You're going to take birth control and wrap it up? Good Lord. DeSantis has received criticism from state officials as well, including Nikki Fried, or Freed, or whatever, the Florida Agricultural Commission. They allege he's not doing enough to prevent the spread. DeSantis has said the virus is seasonal and he expects the metrics to drop soon. I think the question is, we can either have a free society or we can have a biomedical security state. Thank you. And I can tell you, Florida, we are a free state. Contrasting the lack of statewide measures with New York City, where officials this week announced vaccine passports will be required to enter some businesses. My God, if I lived in New York right now, I would be long gone. Long gone. Joe Biden suggests that if you don't do lockdown policies, then you should get out of the way. But let me tell you this, if you're coming after the rights of parents in Florida, I am standing in your way. I am not going to let you get away with it. If you're trying to ruin their jobs and their livelihoods and their small businesses, if you're trying to lock people down, I am standing in your way, and I am standing for the people of Florida. So why don't you do your job? Why don't you get this border secure? And until you do that, I don't want to hear a blip about COVID from you, he added. God, I respect that man so much, man. Just boom. That was what Joe Biden promised. I'm going to get rid of it. You suck, dude. You suck at your job. You're the worst president we have ever had. The worst. Like the absolute worst. Ooh, I gotta watch my temper, man. But like, it's a glaring point. You're so concerned about this virus, but then in a matter of weeks, you'll let 7,000 illegal immigrants in that are already positive? Are you mad? They got that one town in Texas, McAllen. It's basically a refugee city now. It said so many people that were coming in positive for COVID already. Filling up these facilities where they're crammed in shoulder to shoulder, just breathing hot air and COVID on each other. It's insanity. You're being played by this administration. You're being duped by global elitists who don't care about you. They don't care about your family. They don't care about your health. They don't care about America. They care about money and power and their nasty, sick, adulterous habits. It's madness to me. It's madness to me. Can't claim you're pro-choice and then claim that I should be forced to wear a mask. What do you mean forced? You can't force me to do anything because I'm an American citizen and I know my rights, I know my freedoms, and you're not going to strap a mask on me against my will. You're not going to jab me against my will. I have the right to frickin' choose. Joke of a president. Getting in the way. You're getting in the way. You're getting in the way of America. You're getting in the way of freedom. You're getting in the way of people's lives. And you're basically helping kill them. You're basically helping children get trafficked at the border. That's Joe freaking Biden for you. That's Kamala freaking Harris for you. No empathy. Oh, they care so much. They don't care about anything but their agenda. What have they actually done for BLM? What? Right now, I've seen the numbers, I've seen the stats. Sure as crap, looks like Trump's done a lot more for BLM than frickin' Joe Biden has. Trump gave record amounts to HBCUs. Alright, this video is getting long and now it's off topic. Just saying, open your eyes. This administration, the Biden administration, is fooling you. They don't care. They do not care. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's hope I don't get a strike on this one. Stay safe out there more than anything. Check out the new channel in the description below. Stay tuned for more updates.